even cancel my subscription, but I can get like all the knowledge of it years before.
You want me to turn the screens over now? Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. I'll do this.
Yeah, where you work?
I worked at Balloo back in the day.
Oh, beautiful.
And then I was making
You get like chicken dinner with the
Oh, really?
yeah.
Randy?
Have you heard some? Yeah.
Where were you? California now. Yeah.
Where at?
Southern California, like, California, like, West Side, Alabama for a long time. And then I worked at University with Ross for like a long time, working restaurants with him. And then I was a GM at Shake Shack in Madison Square Park. First GM, like 10 years old in my life. And then I got into magazines. Where I was like, have you ever worked in a restaurant before? No? Great. How old are you? I'm still in high school. You're from Timon.
Actually, you guys are, sure, you know, everyone that knows about the social labor situation plays our industry. I think you guys are listening to this. Although you are in other ways. I think the culture of like the way we work. Yeah. You had the previous XYZ.
Yeah. And I thought I was going to get people who wanted to be a fair house job group, getting hired, but there was so much like, that was like fast food. That's so all of the applicants are like, yeah. And now look at me.
Yeah.
Start?
Yeah.
You want to do your intro?
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
We're ready to go, Rob. Let's coordinate. Maybe you need a mic. You need this mic?
I don't have a mic. If you want to use that, and then
You gotta turn it on. I want to turn the volume up. Turn it on.
I'm right here. You don't even have to left.
Large voice. Turn the volume up.
That's big 1, 2, 3.
That's great.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thrill of the Grill.
Thrill of the Grill.
You guys are entertained and big support of Carl Music from ONFC Magazine, and we're very, very thrilled to be able to be Daniel. Thank you so much for here. And I'm very lucky to be this is my first time at entertained and meeting her phone, but I feel like, I don't know, we met about 10 minutes ago. I feel like we're like best buds. And there are actually, I guess this was the second, and Dumbo is the third location. Yep. Which I'm thrilled about because I live walking distance from Sugar Cane in Brooklyn. So when I go back to New York, I'll be there as well. I want to thank our sponsor, Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, for making this happen year after year. And I think that this event has made my event in the last 3 days I've been at. And I think that this is the kind of event that so innovative of what makes me go for really special. First of all, the quality of the food is unbelievable. And it doesn't exist for people who are literally have a front row seat to engage the chef, learn the techniques, watch it tasting at the same time, really short ribs, flank steak, and ingredients from all over the world. They're over there. Everywhere else, my asparagus, tart bar. So what do you think? I'm gonna learn a lot. I love to grill. Get ready for some questions.
We're excited.
Thank you so much for coming out. And now we're gonna start the demo.
Let's do it. Hi everybody. Oh, okay, this is good. I was worried. When we did the sound check, it was a lot lower. I think I made my way around and said hello to everyone. It's like a big Thanksgiving feast with a bunch of friends and family. So it's excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have a really fun day. How's all the raw and the crudos and the seafood and everything so far? That's to my great team here. They make it happen every day. So even when I'm not here, please come back and visit us. They're the real chefs. They're the real team on the loop. And we're going to have a really cool day. I wanted to show you guys some of the secrets that we do here at Sugar King Raw Bar Grill with our beautiful open fire grill. We've been grilling for a long time now. When I first opened Sugar King in 2009, it was really almost before the popular pop culture boom that's been happening the past 5 years of open fire, Francis Moment, a lot of Earth kitchens. I mean, we've been cooking, chefs have been cooking with open fire for a long time, and you just see this renaissance of attention to it. And it's really, I think, it's exactly what we know from tailgating, summertime, barbecuing. We all have to love that nostalgia. Whether you grill a lot or you haven't grilled at all, we're just going to share with you a little bit of tips that you can go away with and hopefully make you a better chef or the know-it-all at the barbecue that can point and tell the chef what to do while you have a glass of wine. That works as well. So my team's starting to prepare the menu. We have a beautiful menu today. I don't know. I'm sorry, don't ask why it's so meat-centric. That's why I said, okay, there's all the seafood in the raw. Now we're going to do all the meat. So I hope everyone really eats meat because I'm excited. I love grilling meat. I do love grilling vegetables too. Vegetables now, treating them like meat is a really hot thing. Everyone's doing everything from cauliflower steaks to, tubers, roasted whole, which we do. We don't do it here. I do it in my Brooklyn location. I roast sweet potatoes whole in the ash, and it gets all the smokiness. And we pair it with a sweet potato, and it's like a s'more, gooey, big type thing. So it's like Thanksgiving yams all the time. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit of corn and ash roasted potatoes as our vegetable of choice. And the meats we're going to do are some beautiful short ribs, what we call flanken style short ribs. You can see these here, I guess. There we go. Which is a flanken style means as the short rib is on the plate, they cut it against the grain. So you see it expose the three bones, but you see that beautiful marbleization in there. This is also known, very popular in Korean culture for Korean galbi style short ribs. So that's why I was a chef in New York, moved back to Miami, originally from San Francisco, but I lived in Miami for most of my culinary career. Was in New York for several years cooking, and every time, New York's one of the best late night cities for chefs because once we get out of work, we're going to Koreatown, or we're going to get some sushi or tacos, So I ended up opening Sugar Cane when it was the whole David Chang Momofuku craze in New York. So it was kimchi everything, gochujang everything, steam buns everything. And I couldn't get that in Miami, so I said, shit, I have to open a restaurant, and I have to make it myself. That's really the premise of Sugar Cane. So we do globally inspired flavors from around the world. We happen to have it, it's called Sugar Cane with rum, so it's a shit, we're going to put rum everywhere. But I really wanted to produce a kitchen and a restaurant that allowed the flavors of the chefs that were actually cooking your gourmet food so you can see what we really want to eat and what we were eating. So we have things like galbi marinated short ribs that we're doing today. You have things like bone marrow roasted whole in the bone. And you have that luscious marrow butter on rustic bread. And it was always so traditional to have it with parsley salad and sea salt. But I always wanted elements of a cut or a technique compounded. So mine was bone marrow, femur bone, with cheek rendered down and braised for a long time. So that was kind of like a marmalade, because all of it to me was like meat butter with meat marmalade and sweetness, and you have all this meat love on a bite of toast. So that's the type of food we do at Sugarcane. We get a little gluttonous, so we like, just a little bit like gluttonous things. And then we like refined and pristine things, like delicate oysters on your palate to start your meal. So there's a lot of intellectual and thought process behind what we do. We just deliver it in a very unpretentious and chill way. If you haven't noticed, I said I'm not going to wear my jacket. I pressed it. I have one. I said, you're in my house. We're going to hang out. Yeah, I'm going to get some beers going myself. It's an open forum, so if you have questions, raise your hand, shout it out. Have a good time here. I hope you leave drunk, and if not, I think our partners at the Venetian put up a great spread at the Dorsey, so they're doing something now, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of booze left over. You can run over and do something, find a cocktail. It's not going to be hard in Vegas. So let's get started, okay? Everyone has their menus in front of you. We're going to kind of go through and highlight some of these dishes. I'm going to start with the skirt steak and the short rib, okay? One of the easiest things... Okay, sorry, let me rewind 1 second. Before you start, some of the greatest things are to compound flavors, right? So when people ask, how are chefs getting these flavors and so forth? Why does yours taste like this? How do you do that? Chefs, we just know a shitload of us hacks. Whether it's, brining proteins with saline in some form, whether it's salt or whatever it is, and we're injecting osmosis with moisture and flavor from there. We piggyback it with a bunch of spices, with your salt, which is the saline, to permeate and get into those tough cuts of meat like ham legs or whatever it is. We're doing things like that. So you're going to see a lot of marinating and so forth. But before you even start thinking about all that, we have to get the foundation. So the foundation we're getting right now is the grill. I came in about 2 hours ago, fired this bad boy up. We use a beautiful charcoal that we get out here. It is a hickory charcoal. It's just compressed really nice. I've played with many different charcoals, and I'm being honest, it was very much a mood thing in the beginning of Sugarcane, and then we just kind of narrowed it down that, okay, hickory is what we're sticking with. It's got the perfect amount of smoke that permeates our food and balances my flavor profile as well. So it's a great, you can use whatever you choose. It's totally up to you, like I just said. We used, in the beginning, whole wood, and that adds great flavor to your food. Every now and then, we'll kind of throw in a stick of wood. Definitely in Brooklyn, not as much here, because we don't want to set off the alarms, and the Venetian will kick us out and never invite us back. So we follow the rules here, because we have people in the Venetian. But this is a great thing, and if you don't, or not able to, you see the grill pad, the iron grill pad is a great thing. But going back to the foundation, I grill about an hour pictures, and you'll see it as we're going through the cooking. And this is very important as I learn to cook, that you have people from different areas, like in Miami, where we open a lot of Argentines, there are a lot of gauchos and asadores, so they're always grilling. And I have like pure flame, they don't want carbon to, form as it splashes and drips on grill. I have a different belief in the sense that holds a very true comment. That's very real, but I like some of that char. And the way I pair my food with elements of sweet and salty, I like bitter as well. That's a very true flavor sensation on your tongue, and I like to evoke it sometimes. So today we are going to just grill on beautiful white members, very, very, very hot already. This grill's probably at about 600-700 degrees. When you are grilling, if you can, I don't have a big green egg, which I love, and there's so many elegant grills. I have a beautiful like a charcoal. It's a charcoal from Walmart. It's $99, and I love that bad boy because it has a frame. And for me, this is golden. To have a frame and to be able to kind of just have the option of it's your option. It's what you're able to do. But you have to create zones. Whether you do it by height, or section, that's the way it has to work. And that's one key thing to grilling, because you're going to see when we start grilling some of the meat, we're going to sear on the hot side, very hot direct heat, and then we're going to move it over to the cooler side and allow it to not carry over cook, but cook at a little slower rate, and then let the internal temperature rise, that little outside crust to continue to form, and then you're going to see the last stage I'll talk about, which is resting your meat. Okay? So starting off with the short rib. In your little gift bags, you're going to see we have 3 recipe cards for you to take home. Try to make this at home. I think all of these recipes, in my opinion, are very easy. I chose them because I think you can replicate them at home very easy. So you saw the flanking style cut short rib. The key to getting this short rib to the final product that you'll be tasting is all in the marinade. So we do a Korean barbecue marinade. So I have the flanking. You guys saw that. Simple as that. The meat itself does everything. The key to the galbi short rib is the marinade, and that is because there's ingredients in the marinade that really help to do 2 things. Not just, pack it with all the flavor, but there's things in there that help tenderize and help break down the short rib. And I think this is one of my favorite dishes ever in the world, just because it's so good from the marinade flavor point, but the toothiness that you get from eating this cut of meat. Because so many of us, I think, coming from French cuisine, we're always used to gray short rib, and that's luscious and beautiful. Falls off the bone. And it's kind of reminiscent for me of winter, fall. And sometimes I want to do things, I want that same kind of meat, but other times of the year. So this is something I feel you can do all year round. It's one of the best things to throw on the grill besides just simple chicken. And it makes, you're going to impress all your friends because you're cooking short rib. You know what I mean? You didn't really do that much except making marinade. So I have a blender here, and it's as easy as putting everything in the blender. And some of the key ingredients that we're going to throw in here that really make it unique is pear. I'm using Bartlett pear. You're going to see recipes online that probably has Asian pear, which is fine. If you can't get Asian pear, I can show you use Bartlett pear. We use a little bit of ginger, and I need to move around, but all the ingredients are here. We're going to put a little ginger. We're going to put a little bit of garlic. We like to put a little bit of, I'm going to tell you the truth, I haven't made this recipe like forever, so I'm just like, I don't remember though, like the exact portions of my recipes. Thank God I have my chef. I just say a little bit of this, a little bit of that, that's exactly right. But the key is, okay, so you have the pear, the ginger, the garlic before I put it in the blender. This is the real part that really helps out. There's a chemical reaction that happens from the enzymes of the onion with the sugars from the pear. Then we're going to add saline or salt, right, from soy sauce. And all of these things are going to react as you make this marinade, and they're going to help break down the tough short rib. And that is freaking magic. This marinade, guys, I use for so many things. Not only 2 short ribs, we put it on flap steak, we put it on skirt steak, and all you really need to decide is how long you want to leave your protein in. And that's all based on how tough that protein is. Okay? We add a little bit of green onions, scallions. We add a little bit of sugar. And we add a little bit of alcohol. This happens to be sake. And mirin. So sake and mirin. Everyone knows sake is made from rice. Mirin is sweet sake, so they burn off the alcohol. So I have a little bit more of that in there. I like to finish this with a little bit of citrus. We used to put the whole oranges right in there, but we use so much orange here, I couldn't bear throwing away all the peels, so we keep all the peels for teas, or confiture, or it just happens to work well, and we make a lot of this marinade. So in there we put some orange peel, and lastly we finish with a little sesame oil. Put it in the blender. Bring some wine, add a cocktail, and that's it. It's as easy as that. You pour it over the short ribs, you have this beautiful marinade, And we let this sit, I let this sit up to 3 days. And I love it when it's 3 days. I'm going to tell my chefs, get it 3 days, get it 3 days. I can taste it when it's only 2. You can definitely taste it when it's only 1. And that's because it will be a little bit tougher. See it here, just poured it over, called it a day. And this is what it looks like after 3 days. It actually has some discoloration. So you're going to see all that marinade, the soy and all this color really permeate the short rib. And this is what we call liquid, it's like liquid love. So, everyone okay so far? Any questions so far? We're all on the same page? Marinate some meat. It's not that hard. We have a hot grill. This is one of the only things because of the sugars, you're going to want to be conscious of what heat zone you're putting your short rib on, because if you put it on the hot, extremely hot zone, it's going to burn a little too fast. So we're going to get this into the medium zone, and all I've done is I just made a mound of coal, starting with a high mound to a low mound. That's it. Let me show you this one thing too. I don't know if you can see. We make cute little things like little brushes out of herbs, right? It's a fancy thing. I can sell this at Williams, Sonoma for a lot of money. It's some herbs wrapped around the chopstick. When you see sugar cane on that, you'll know what I'm saying. So one thing you do is we like to use that to kind of brush as a brush or paint when we say our meats or proteins. I just did that straight on the grill to allow it to act as basically like a lubricant. And we're just going to throw the short rib right onto the grill. I know the team's preparing it in the back. I think some of it is dropped already on the table. So you see that luscious short rib. You're actually eating it right now as I'm cooking it. Then you put the light in. How is it for everyone who's trying this so far? Please just feel free to shout out any or not. Yeah? You see how tender it is? There's a steak-like mouthfeel to it that I enjoy, but I think that's the beauty of eating like very Argentine short rib, Korean style short rib. A lot of you like it. Oh yeah? You make me so nervous. No. Everyone, if you guys log on to what I'm doing right now, you see like some streams about how to cook something. She's probably wants to show you how to cook. So she's the guru. And there's Andrew and everyone from there. But this is like brains of the operation.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So I want to make sure she's checking out my grilling skills.
I'm going to read your recipe right now. See how that.
Yeah. So again, like I said, I started off on the medium heat zone, and I basically lowered my grill to get it a little bit hotter. And like I said in the beginning, I personally would definitely try to recommend, and again, it's only me, in my opinion, a grill that has a crank that you are able to elevate it higher and lower. Only because the other way to work the heat zone, I would have to physically pick up the meat and then take it to the right or left. And sometimes you're going to get your protein sticking if they're not seared properly. You know, you want to let your meat rest or well, you want to let your meat cook against its surface, and it'll naturally start to release. You know, so many people say, "Oh, well, my protein, my fish, my chicken is sticking to the pan." Well, be a little bit patient. You know, you have the right tool. Let the protein cook. Is that true?
We say in the Everything Kitchen that half of the mistakes with cooking can just be solved by like do nothing.
Yeah.
Just walk away, it will resolve itself. Yeah. I mean, don't walk away. Give it a minute.
And if anyone has any tips, please, I'd love to hear some. So I know there's some professional grill chefs in the audience. So what I did was I allowed this thing, the sherbet to cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on one side. I'm going to flip it now. Allow it to cook another 3 minutes on the other side. And I may flip it one more time back to the original side, just to allow it to get some cross marks and look a little fancy. How's the sherbet? Are we getting the sherbet now? So you see, you really taste that marinade. It's kind of like magic, right? You saw what we did. I think everyone can do that at home, huh? You don't have a blender, you just can chop it by hand. The key is just allow your that food to marinate. Want to get the camera?
Where are we going?
As while the sherbet's cooking, I'm going to move on and start talking about the next cut of meat that we're going to cook, which is a beautiful skirt steak. Skirt steak is the lower part of the stomach. It's kind of hanging, and what happens is you have all the beautiful marbleization and this tenderness. When you get it from your grocery store or so forth, it's probably clean already. Sometimes I prefer to try to get it not clean. Number one, it's a convenience thing. If you don't want to have to put a lot of effort into your food, then get it clean. But I tell you, I like it not clean because I like all the fat that's naturally stuck onto the meat. And your butcher's going to clean that off because they're just trying to give you this finished product that looks so beautiful. But they don't understand that if you're using this to grill, this is going to act as a natural baster. This layer of fat is going to protect some of that meat and actually render down and make the meat a little bit more luscious. So you see all this like fat back here. That's like, again, I call that liquid love. I may take off a little bit, but I'm not going to take off a lot. All I'm really going to take off is this silver skin that you can literally peel off. If you guys can see it there. Can you guys see it on the screen? It's a little dark. Or you can see it here. You can see me here? It's literally going to like peel it off. There we go. And that silver skin is really what you don't want to eat. It's just going to be tough. Okay, gotta use a knife. Well, some of it came off there, see? So we clean this up a little bit. And then what we finish off with is something that looks like this. We still have a nice amount of fat on here. See it here. And this just adds so much. There you go, Rob. This is Rob, everyone. This is so gorgeous. And I think I asked everyone individually, but just so, so everyone kind of understands who the rest of the family members are around the table. By a show of hands, how many people grill at home? I think that's a good amount. I'm going to ask you guys for any of your secret techniques. Yeah, I think it's a great way. I know some people maybe live in a condo, you have a balcony, you don't have access to grill or so forth. Like I said, they make some really cool grill pans. And I remember I lived above my restaurant in Miami, and it was a condo. And I was that reckless neighbor, so I had an open fire grill in the balcony. Very conscious I didn't burn anything and burn down the place. But I would sometimes have to cook on my grill pan, and I would hate, one of the most difficult things is, how do you get that heat that the chefs get in restaurants when you smoke out the house and the smoke detector starts ringing and you gotta open the doors and you're fanning your kitchen laundry and the laundry and everything to try to alleviate the smoke. And what I tell everybody is heat up that pan and safely take it to your balcony and then throw the meat on there. And then it goes outside. The Venetian is not endorsing anything I'm saying. It's solely the rights and the thoughts of Chef Timon Balloo. Not liable for you burning down your house. So everyone saw the amount of meat that's on here again? I really wanted to stick with this one. I'm going to leave that fat, guys. And like I told you about your hot zones, you got to be careful where you're going to decide to throw that, because that fat is going to melt. And it's going to ignite on your grill. So just be very conscious, and you're going to have to watch that. We're going to go very simple with this beautiful cut of meat and all that fat, and we're just going to go salt and pepper. It's as simple as that. We have really good ingredients. I think really good salt, some beautiful sea salt, fresh cracked pepper is a magical thing. You always see many of the chefs when you go to the restaurants, there's always pepper mills. It's as simple as those fundamentals can make a lot of flavor. Any questions right now? Thoughts, concerns? I'll cut this in half and put this bad boy on the grill. And this is where I'm going to actually brush it with the Sonoma herb brush. It's just you see, it's literally a mop. Very much like you see good old barbecue chefs mop. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of oil. And we're going to actually raise our grill so we're not so close to that heat. Our short ribs are cooking up beautifully. Let me just show you. You guys ate the short rib already, but I just want to show you again. That caramelization is just so sexy. That char, that's what we're always looking for. How was the short rib, guys? Yeah, that's a good response. I'm going to have to clean the grill. Always make sure you clean your grill. That's one of the most important things. And when you do cook the short ribs, I'm going to tell you, it makes for a very dirty grill. So always have the proper tools, grill brush and so forth, to be able to clean in between new applications. If you want the protein to have a good direct contact to that heating element, if you throw the short rib down, we're going to let that bad boy work. I'm just going to finish it just so you see it completely finished. I'm going to finish the short rib so you see it. On the short and pepper kimchi pickles, they're not 100% true kimchi in the sense that there's not a long fermentation process. We just add a lot of salt. You just slice the short ribs like that, prepare it however you want, rate it however you want. One thing I love about grilling now is I barely use platters. So you just serve everything on the cutting board and let people have at it. So it was a fun way to entertain. And you guys saw it. These were the kimchi pickles. We just added a little bit of salt, chili flake, Korean chili flake, which is called gochujang, which has a very unique flavor profile, but you can use any red chili flake. And what will happen is the natural juices from the cucumber will start to leach out, and then the salt will start to work, and that's a little bit of a fermentation. We add some Fresno chilies, finish it with sesame and chives. And one of our favorite sauces is sugar cane rubber grilled sweet soy. Ooh. So what happens? That happens sometimes in the restaurant. This is not staged, it's a real situation. our bottle open. And this is what it's going to sauce. So you tried the dish, you get the point, yeah? This is a real demo, folks. We're really cooking here. So now I think I see on your in the middle of your tables, you have that skirt steak, right? I didn't see it drop, so I don't know how long it's been, but I guess she's clapping, so she's finished her skirt steak already. It's so simple. Just beautiful cut of meat, grilled perfectly, salt, pepper. We're pairing it with the chimichurri sauce, which I'm going to make right now. When you saw it, when I threw down that steak on the grill, it's been about 3 minutes. Kind of lift a little and pull away beautifully. And allow it to go about 2 more minutes. I want it to get a little bit closer to the direct heat because I want that little luscious little crust. And in the meantime, I'm going to make the chimichurri, which is so easy. If you're not familiar with chimichurri, guys, it's an Argentine herb sauce. Super, super, super simple to make. Again, the recipe is there for you. And it's literally, I don't know if you can get this on camera so you can see these ingredients in the bowl. We took chopped parsley that we've already chopped up. Beautiful chopped parsley. Flat leaf Italian parsley, okay guys? Not the curly parsley. Curly parsley is what we used to use in the hotels for our garnish on your platters. I add a little bit of cumin, and recipes will vary. Again, this is the Argentine country-style herb sauce, and with this, recipes will vary from house to house. Someone's grandmother will make it different than a friend down the street, but it's always predominantly parsley. I add a little bit of cumin because I like that little flavor, and we're in Miami. We love cumin. We add a little bit of red chili flake, some fresh cracked black pepper, a little bit of salt, which that's it. One important little thing. Sometimes you'll see in recipes you salt before and then you salt after. I like to salt before on my chimichurri, and I always kind of like to massage it and act like as if it was like a mortar and pestle and kind of just work the herbs. I like to release the oils, get some of those flavors coming out of the herbs, and then we just finish with some olive oil, and voila, there you have it. You have that beautiful chimichurri. And I love just, I would say I like making this, and I keep some in the fridge. And it usually, for me, it lasts anywhere from like 5 days to 7 days because the oil will coagulate. And you have that beautiful finished product right here, just so luscious. Some people throw a little bit of garlic in there. You definitely do that. But it's as easy as that. So going back to the steak now, I'm going to flip. You have this beautiful, luscious caramelization here. And again, so far the tips were gone over just to refresh. We talked about the heat on the grill, heat zones. Obviously, use of charcoal is a preference, whatever type you want. Marinades are a great use. And just quality key ingredients. Salt, pepper here, fresh sea salt, fresh cracked black pepper, working the heat zones, applying a little bit of fat, lubricant. Let the heat do its thing. After that's seared, like I said, I was going to talk to you about the importance of resting. That's the next step. We happen to be cooking a lot of red meat, so it's important right now that you let your meat rest. The short ribs, not so much because it's marinated. Yeah, you should always let all your red meat rest, or any of your proteins actually. When they're so hot, all the juices are going to be flowing. If you immediately cut it, they're going to reach out to your board. That's flavor, guys. We want to eat that. We don't want it on the cutting board. And just waiting a couple minutes goes a long way. I told you guys that we have a couple surprises, so while we're growing the first thing, I know a couple of you guys came up here and took some pictures. I'm going to show you the last piece of red meat we have. This beautiful dry-aged tomahawk, 30 days. That's not on your menu, kiddies. That's a little surprise from Chef Timmy. We found some of these bad boys here. We're like, hey, we're going to have barbecue. Let's eat some meat with our friends. Red Flintstone style. So this meat has been aged about how many days? 28 days dry aged. That's a very safe number. Sometimes we like to get really chefy and funky and go a little bit longer. But this is a safe, average amount of days that it seems like you guys, the masses, have dictated to us that you guys really like. Again, we do a lot of things at sugarcane. This is one of the favorite things we like to do. A nice amount of seasoning. Yes, sir.
Sea salt.
Sea salt, and we ground up ourselves. So that's why it's a little finer. And one thing about using bigger cuts like this is we go aggressive with our salt. You know, you have to think, how is the center of this steak going to taste? So we like to add a nice little crust. Honestly, in the restaurant, while we're working service and doing our thing, we'll pull out a couple steaks. They'll rest at room temperature and for about an hour or two, and really season when we pull them out. So we allow that salt to kind of permeate. I've heard of other chefs do it overnight. Yes?
How long do you let it sit at room temperature?
Usually an hour. Yeah, that's why all this meat was here while you guys were coming in. No, you should. I would cook it by then. If you want to pre-salt your meat, like I said, I've heard some chefs do it as long as overnight, 24 hours. And, you know, I've never worked at a formal steakhouse. There's steakhouse kings that know all the tricks. This is just kind of like all the overall data I've learned that I'm trying to give to you. Yeah. So I hit it with salt, a little bit of pepper. And I'm not sure how many of you guys were able to look over here when you were walking in. These have the twine on them because we actually hung them. And we just let them sit over here and let all that slow heat cook it and come up and let it cook very slowly. So again, we pulled off our steak. Pull it off to the desired temp you want. And let it rest. I'm going to let the meat rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. Clean my grill. I'm going to start over again. So to everyone that grills, my hat goes off to you because I know it's not always the most fun thing, right? Sounds like a good idea. Not always the truth when you're the one cooking for everybody. So that's why there's the unwritten rule. Whoever's grilling, you have to make sure they have a cold beer at all times. That's your duty as a friend. And dry towels to wipe off their sweat, okay? No one told you that before. I just made you a better friend right now. Yeah. Just any beer, cold, okay? Cold beer. Does it look like I have a preference? All right, so that bad boy is going to go onto the grill. This is about, how big is this, Chris? The sous chef is here. We normally do about a 20 ounce. This looks like it's about a 24 ounce. Ribeye, tomahawk. And this is going to take at least about, I want to say 25 to 30 minutes to cook all of it. So we're going to allow it to get a nice char, and then we're just going to bring it over to the medium side and let it do its thing. Keep the low side. It goes slow and low. So that's when you have your friends eating the raw bar. That's when you had your glass of wine. This bad boy's going to be ready when it's like three quarters into the party and everyone's already starting to have shots, okay? And if you guys haven't been to one of those parties in a while, you need to find new friends. Let's start with us here at Sugar Cane. Salud, asante, cheers to everyone in the crowd. This is how you have to do it, right? Grilling and eating, and this is Vegas Uncork'd, right? That works perfectly. Okay. We've done the skirt steak. We've done the tomahawk. We've done the short ribs. What else is left on your program? I did some chicken wings just because I figured, like, dude, everyone probably grills some chicken wings, right? I love chicken wings. And on the grill, they're like magical. One of my favorite cuts. They're great. Guys in the back firing the wings. These people are going to get excited over wings. This is a wings crowd, without a doubt. What we've done here is we got a little bit fancy. You're probably not going to do this at home. And I'll be honest with you, I probably won't do this at home either. Because I just want to cook and then drink. But what we did here is we went ahead and did this fancy technique called confetti, which is to be cooked in its own fat. We did not cook the chicken in chicken fat. We chose to cook it in duck fat. So we cooked this very slowly in duck fat until all the meat clumped up. Do it on some skewers just to help them stick together. And then we're just going to throw that on the grill. Going back to secrets, again, marinating, brining. This chicken has been brined for 24 hours in a salt water solution. That has salt, water, the herbs you saw on the brush, rosemary, some thyme, crushed garlic, and peppercorn. That's what we do here for our chicken brine. We do it for whole chicken, we do it for all our chicken. And what happens is you get a lot of, much more flavor into your chicken. It helps with a little bit more moisture and plumpness, and it's just the way to go. If you're not competing at home, like I said, which I wouldn't do, you still have to try to brine your chicken. Okay, it's the day of, you didn't brine it. Okay, season it heavily with some salt and some water. Some salt, pepper, and then worry about the sauce that you toss it in after. And try to get some flavor in there too. Obviously, when you're cooking chicken, and I'm just going to go again and teach you guys everything. You can do two things, right? You're going to do chicken on the grill. There's choices. Yes, you would ideally like to cook the protein the full duration on the grill. Sometimes, let's be honest, it's a pain in the ass, right? You're out there, it's hot. You got to do the cheats. So a lot of times for harder cuts, like if you're going to go chicken thighs or drumettes, right? So many times you go to a barbecue, you get this burnt drumette. Well, you know, it's, again, doing your zone, or if you're at home, you could get a nice little mark and throw them in the oven. That would be equivalent to like using a technique like what we did, which was confetti. Basically just adding a layer of cooking to the product. And you don't have to slave. You've already permeated it with your smoke, that deep flavor that you really want. And now you can finish it in the oven to the temperature using 165 for poultry. Juices run dry, yeah? All right. Chicken's on the grill. See, this is a great example here, Rob. I went to go grab this chicken. Just to, again, like that steak, even though the chicken had some fat on there, I see that it's giving me a little bit of resistance. It's sticking to the grill. This is where you have to show some reservation and just let it do its thing. Pull back, let that little wing of love just sit there and be happy, okay? I'm going back to the meat now. It's been about 3 minutes. I want to cut this and show you guys what we're looking at here. You're going to see, some of the blood is always going to, juices are going to leach naturally. We just don't want to lose any more than that. So importance is letting your meat rest. using the right seasoning. And lastly, if you're working with steak, try to cut against the grain. So like the way you saw the short rib was cut against the grain, not with the grain. I'll show you right here. You're going to see that this cut of meat has lines going up and down, right? You do not want to cut in the same direction of the lines. This is a high-powered big secret. No matter how properly you cooked your meat to the proper temperature, if you cut with the grain in the direction of the lines, chances are your meat will be tough to chew. So you want to make sure, again, the lines are going up and down. I'm going to cut against that grain, ensuring that I've basically broken up the top pieces. And you guys have already had it, so you saw the meat's beautifully rested. The juices are in there. Just a little bit about medium going to medium well. I like a little bit rarer than that. I was talking a little bit too much while I was doing the demo. Oh, this is beautiful. Just like what you had there, we finished with a little bit of sea salt, call it a day. How was the steak? You guys finished that all up? What are you guys eating now? Wings? Wing night? You saw that we had Bon Appetit, like who's coming to the party? They didn't get back to us, so we didn't know. So we said, okay, we're going to be halfway who we are, which is meat on the bone. We like you to eat with your fingers. But then we said it is Vegas, and there's so many, sophisticated people here. We took off one bone to make it easier for you to bite, because we think about it. Hope you enjoy it. We tossed in a little bit of, like I said, comes down to the saucepan. If you don't have enough time to brine or get some marinating there, mind you that gawi marinade would go great on wings and chicken. We just took a little bit of honey and a little bit of vinegar, put it on a pot, reduce it down by half. That's a little bit of a glaze. Fancy word called gastrique, which is sweet and sour. Toss that in the wings as they come out of the oven or out of the grill. Call it a day, let them sit there, let people pick at it. Go drink more beer or wine. Again, that ribeye has been on one side. Oh, it's so beautiful. You see this bad boy. Yeah, light it up. Beautiful golden sear. So now we're going to flip it over to that other side. Chefs in the back are. Don't worry, it's not shot time yet. It's only 3/4 of these up. We'll give you vegetables. Fry the vegetables. They've got to go. They got places to be. And just to get to round out your diet, you got to throw some vegetables in. I thought, yeah, exactly. You stick around after. We're gonna have something. We're gonna have the shots, and then we'll see all the other secret ingredients. One thing that we've been doing, like I said, is treating vegetables like meat. Respecting all our vegetable-friendly friends out there. And one thing that I want to try to create is a layer of complexity to these beautiful vegetables. So some things that we've been doing is, like I said, throwing the thing straight into the ash, allowing you to get a little bit of a different complexity, direct contact with the fire. So right now we have some beautiful corn. And I'm going to be completely honest because I have nothing to hide from our family and friends. We started this technique by being extremely busy and selling a lot of corn, and we're like, shit, we got to cook it faster and faster and faster. How fast can we cook it? So we ended up just throwing it into the fire. Then it was like starting to research all these chefs, and again, there's a great Argentine chef by the name of Francis Malman, and there's so many things that he just cooks directly on charcoal. It's like, wow, what a great technique. So I lightly oiled the corn. This corn has been roasted in its husk first. So just again, to make it a little bit easier when you're grilling all day and you're entertaining, we went ahead and started that process a little bit earlier to get it going. What we're going to do here is I'm literally going to take this corn, throw it into the pot. And you're going to see that it's going to pop a little. It's okay for us. What's going to end up happening is we're going to brush off a lot of this soot that's in contact, but we want that direct fire, that direct heat. I don't know if you can hear it from there, but we hear it in. This is becoming more and more popular amongst the chef community, as well as just with the meat as well. I could have probably threw that whole ribeye, that tomahawk steak directly into the charcoal also. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to throw some potatoes into a pan. I call them mashed roasted potatoes. We took some potatoes, we soaked them in salt water directly into that. How are the wings? There's wings, guys. You know, just yell it out. What's your name exactly? I'm sorry? Lamb. Beautiful thing. Great thing. What kind of lamb? Yep. Chocolate great. I'm here on the menu. I'm doing a testa also in Miami where we take the ground lamb. It's beautiful. Make it almost like a meatball or, you know. So coming out pretty soon should be the corn and the potatoes. Just go ahead and turn that corn. Any questions so far, guys? Comments, thoughts, concerns? Anyone not like the food?
So you just pulled that corn out with your towel, just wiped it just a little bit
exactly.
before you put it back in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, again, I could have moved the coals, and these coals are starting to, they're still hot, but, you know, I don't know if you can see it, you know, it's just like, I mean, it's so gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like that direct contact is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And again, I'm doing this, we use the hickory charcoal, right? It's all natural charcoal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do this with briquettes. So, you know, yeah, you said it right there. They have chemicals in them. So I don't really want that contact. So
Right. Yeah.
try to get as pure as possible if you can. So you can get popcorn popping. So the guys will actually be finishing your corn and your potatoes coming out. This is also very popularly known in the Mexican community as elote. Roasted corn. This is, for me, completely what summertime is about. This is roasted perfectly for me. I'm going to pull it off now and just let it chill out. I think that's sexy. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we make a little spicy mayonnaise that we serve that corn with. And it's literally as easy as adding some ingredients like a little bit of store-bought mayo, or if you want to be fancy, you can make an aioli. It's literally that easy. We add a little bit of paprika, a little bit of salt, in our recipe for this spicy mayo, we add a couple of Korean ingredients like kimchi paste. You can use whatever you want. That's just what we do here. We use something called tobenjan. It's a fermented bean paste, Japanese fermented bean paste. We add some fresh chili flakes, ground chili, and then voila, that's it. Very simple. I'm sorry. Rob's let me show you. See, you have that beautiful, luscious little chili mayonnaise, if you want to call it. Add it onto sandwiches, add it onto whatever you like. We take our corn. We like to shave it. Honestly, I like to leave it whole, but it's easier to share and eat in our concept if I do this for you. Get that beautiful charred corn. A little bit of the mayo. Up to you how much you'd like to have. Your discretion. That's what Balloo makes. Balloo. And that's it. There you have it. This is one of our favorite sides. I cannot not make it. People love it. You had yours with a little bit of lime. We love citrus, and that acid cuts to that fat. I like to add a little bit more of the chili flake on top. And then, of course, I'm the ultimate fat boy, so I love cheese on everything. We put a little bit of cheese on our corn. It's like one of the best things ever. And I think you guys tried your corn, right? Yeah. Yeah! Look at that. Oh, corn. Yeah! Make corn bread. Sir, we actually use cotija, right? This is a Mexican-style dried cheese. Cotija, it has a beautiful flavor. Listen, we ran out of cotija, we use Parmesan. Use what you like, you know? If you get the idea, it's like, as long as you understand the layers of cooking, then everything's going to be a swap out. It's going to be regional, it's going to be seasonal, it's going to be cultural. You know, explore, eat, try food. You know, fire those up for me? Cut it into one, right? Make sure the temp's good. Probably serve it right there. Not too hot, I want you to just try the meat. Potatoes are cooking. That one here. Again, any questions, anything to add? I thought I was going to be just drinking until they told me, oh, no, you have to do the demo and talk. Rob, come on, what are you doing? You're sweating. Let's show them this. Look at this. Man, this is so good. Again, just like corn, you get like this. Oh, this char on these potatoes is ridiculous. And again, like I said, you know, this is not bad for me. I hope you guys aren't the people I don't want you to be, and you yell when you get like a charcoal, you know, coal-fired pizza. There's a little bit of black burn on the crust, or you know, that char is good. Please don't be those people, guys. You won't make a lot of chef friends, and then you won't be invited to chef parties. Chef parties are the best parties. A little bit of that, as long as it's not like burnt. We know what burnt means. Some char is necessary. Okay. To finish the finish the potatoes, we're going to pair it with a really simple salsa verde. Again, salsa verde is just like a chimichurri. Salsa is sauce, verde is green for everyone who doesn't speak Spanish. Yeah, I'll do it. We start with a little bit of parsley again. How it will change in comparison to the chimichurris is salsa verde, and the people, the gurus who go on can tell you. Originally is from Spain. It didn't really, as salsa verde kind of progressed into the Latin America, so I guess they changed. So you have chimichurri, and now you have one or two more ingredients added to it. You know, this is the purest form. Just clean parsley. I like to add a little bit of lemon zest. It goes a long way. If you have fresh citrus at home, you like to squeeze, you know, you have citrus or whatever, you're going to eat orange, always try to zest the citrus. Don't waste the skin. It's such a long way. Whether you peel the citrus and then put in sugar, then you have lemon or orange sugar, you know, for icing. I literally just dry it there and throw it into tea with hot water, and then you have that infusion. Don't waste anything of the ingredients. So I have the lemon zest. We have a little bit of olive oil, and we have a little bit of that lemon juice. And this is my salsa verde, so you won't see the lemon. And I'm going to serve that with the potatoes and have that smokiness. The potatoes are working. Look at the fat is kind of nice and smoky and charred directly in the ash. And then you can take this to much more intense degrees. You could have just threw this potato into the coal like the corn and try it there. I think this is beautiful the way you have this. I don't mind that color. I think that's sexy. I like to smash them a little, kind of bursting them. And now this is where I say in my cooking, you're not going to taste that direct, quote unquote, bitter or burn, because you're going to get that luscious sweetness. I'm using beautiful fingerling tomatoes here. They're naturally sweet. We add some of that salsa verde, more sea salt. Remember I told you we did soak these overnight, so use the salt as an indiscretion. And that's it. You know, this is what you're serving. You decide how you want it. You want corn with the chicken. You want some of these potatoes with the steak. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. There's some key fundamental things to worry about, but otherwise, don't take it too serious. Literally, this could have just been a mistake and you burnt your potatoes, but now I just made your mistake gourmet, and I get to charge you a lot of money for it. And there you have some ash roasted potatoes, some salsa verde. Cool? Yeah! Did you guys have the potatoes yet? You have the potatoes? How are the potatoes? You have wings! Potatoes! Yeah! All at once for wings and potatoes! You can rule the world with chicken and potatoes. And corn. Yeah. And the beer. Another salute. In between every course, guys. Come on. We're at a barbecue here. Thank you. Salute. What's next in the program? Rob told me that's it. Venetian people are like, huh? Yes, the rib's coming. It's shot time, remember? Close to shot time. So we're going to get into Q&A. Hopefully you have Q&A. Otherwise, I don't have anything to say. Those guys in the back better hurry up with cutting the ribs. Any questions? Any pointers? Really? Nothing? Yeah, well, this is moving the grill. It's raising it. You know, raising it higher and lower away from the heat. But if you don't have it, same thing. And if you can't do that, you're just basically going to start with a big mound, whatever side you want, and then go lower. Yeah. The heat zone, right? Lower is less heat. The higher than the top of the hills, more heat. Yeah. That's all I got for you people. What else is everyone doing this weekend? You have a question back there? Any suggestions for using a gas grill? Throw it out and buy a charcoal grill. Okay. No, you know, seriously, I had a gas grill too. They're easy, they're fast. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, you know what I mean? Sometimes I try to cheat, and then, you know, with the gas grill, you'll see that it has the burners. And I'm not telling you to do this. Remember, everything you learned today, I'm not telling you to do legally, if there's any lawyers in the crowd. But I like to throw some charcoal on those burners. I use them as like an assist. So I throw a little bit of charcoal on there, so I get a little bit of the best of both worlds, right? So just be mindful when you're doing that, that you're going to, you know, it's going to be in contact to the flame, and it could, you know, be careful. You don't want to throw a bunch, maybe one or two, and you can sneak in some of that flavor into your food, yeah? I guess I'm not going to get any endorsement deals from the gas grill company. Nah. I want Weber. Anybody know any hookups with Weber? Send them my way, yeah? Any other questions, guys? That concludes our program. Thank you for coming to Sugar Cane Railroad Grill today and spending your time with us. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Cook with love, eat with friends, and alcohol. It makes it all better. Yeah. Enjoy your time in Las Vegas, guys. It's great to have you. The meat's coming out. Thank you so much.